Connecting to YouTube. Connecting to YouTube. Oh, look. Sweet. I think it's live. Hey, what's up? All right, let's just check it. Let's check the audio. Pop these babies out. It's low. Wait, is it low? Audio test, 1, 2, 3. Audio test, check, 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 check. It's a little low. What's up, everybody? How is it going? Yeah, it is low. All right, hold on. Okay. Audio check, check. Audio check, check. See if that helps out the sitch. I can always bump it up. There we go. That's a little better. A little better. All right, now I can hear myself think. All right. It's kind of garbled. No, what's the word I'm looking for? Not garbled. Like crunchy? Is that a thing? A little crunchy? Let's get this full screen chatty chat. Later I'll move. What I'll need is another, like a third monitor, so I can have chat like right in front of my face, because this thing doesn't do chat. That's the whole reason I do these things, so I can chat. Okay, I can't hear him. I can't listen to myself talk. I don't see how you guys do it. I really don't see how you do it. I can't even stand it for a minute and 32 minutes. I don't see how you can stand it for a couple hours. But you're here, and so welcome. Thanks for swinging by. Let me just I don't know. We'll see if the internet can handle this kind of bandwidth. Yeah, dang it. I need a monitor. I need a monitor right here, so I can read chat as I'm doing my thing, so I don't have to look over. The font's too small. Can I make font bigger? Can I make the font bigger? Let's see, control positive? That's a thing, right? Oh, ho ho, ho ho. Enhance, enhance, enhance. Sweet, sweet. Now it's much bigger. Holy moly, okay. Sweet, okay. Okay, all right, enhance. Enhance. Let's do some quick dissolves before we get too serious. Dissolve, dissolve, dissolve. Okay. So, all right, here we go. Oh man, enhance has worked, guys. I can actually see the chat as I'm trying to cruise through this tripod. I just bumped my whole view, dude. There we go. Now we're good. Now we're good. I'll give you guys the enhanced view. Enhance. So I got my chat. I can see myself and my chat over here. Let's go wireless for a second. We'll see. We'll make some people famous tonight. Let's make some people famous, even though you can see the same thing. But here we go. Jeff Green, what's up, man? Cloudy Farm, Shanzo, Bonsai Breeder, Grow Koski, A807, Just in Time, Liberator, Firebird, Ghost in the Sunlight, Deknar, Super Luigi, Spaceballs, Ohm's Law, Bluegrass, Connection, Brooklyn OG, Floor Organics, Mr. C Grown for B, Real Thing for you. God, it's so Why am I'm looking at the phone. I'm looking at the phone screen. I don't know why I'm not just reading it right here. Look at all you great people, man. What's up, guys? Yeah, Midnight Shouties. Midnight Shouties. All right, so here's what we're up to tonight. Hold on. Dissolve. There we go. That's just with 2 cameras, y'all. Wait till I get more cameras. And a camera, it's just as simple as getting like a used Droid or a used like iPad. No, excuse me, iPod. Let's get back and set up. Get the close-up view. Close up. Yeah. So honestly, guys, I was just like screwing around tonight. I'm a little bit sleepless, and I have grown immune to the. What am I smoking on? Like Ghost Train? Ghost Train Haze? No. Ghost OG? I don't know. Some extracts I got from Rare Dankness. And they were putting me to sleep like a freaking narcoleptic, man. And then they just kind of like, I guess I just kind of got immune to it. After, I don't know, a few grams of it, I just got immune to it and it didn't put me to sleep anymore. So now, yeah, Ghost Train Hay. Ghost Train, hey! So now I'm just awake again. There's the top of my head. You can see me. Oh, this is cool. Okay, I'll just, hold on, let me get this set up. So this is just, I figured I'd pop it up late at night. Yes, I could kind of practice offline or whatever, but there's nothing like having the feedback of a live chat room, you know, in the house. So they can tell you when you're too quiet or too loud or too stupid. So that's the dealio. Okay, so this is the view we got. So this is Pedros light, and it's actually kind of refreshing to get something that's not a Mars. How the keyboard on that surface? I don't know, man. Like, I'm a little love-hate with this. I've never owned like a nice iPad. I've always owned like a secondhand one or a cracked one. So I decided to kind of get a nice one, and I sprung for their like super expensive keyboard, and it's okay. It's not the best, but then you buy the Apple Pencil, $100 fucking for this stupid pencil. It is kind of cool, but there's nowhere in the Apple keyboard to put the Apple Pencil. Like, you got to spend more money to get a freaking pencil holder. Okay, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about grow lights. And this particular one here happens to be a ProGrow Dissolve. ProGrow LED. This is Pedro's Grow Room. You guys, I think, are pretty familiar with him. And so he sent me this thing. And to be honest, I had never really had a great look at it because it was always in his tent. And so, you know, I didn't know what it was all about. So I thought I'd check it out. I'd hack it for him. And the first step of any hack is to turn it on and see if it catches on fire. Yeah, Grow Noob, just a quickie. A quick little rant. Grow Mouse, need to get with you about something for a 10x10. Dr. Purple OG. Yeah, you're with me, baby. Let's talk about your 10x10 as we kind of cruise through this dealio here. So what are you looking to spend, Dr. Purple OG, for your 10x10? And when you're saying 10x10, are you talking 10x10 room, as in the, you know, like the floor space, or are we talking 10x10 a canopy? Because a lot of people hit me up and they say, hey, Mouse, I got a 12x14, I need lighting. And so I'm like, okay, cool. I go through this whole thing on Instagram and tell them what they need, and they're like, oh no, bro, that's how big the room is. I'm thinking about doing 2 4x8 trays. I'm like, dude, you should have told me that the first time. So let's all just agree, when we're talking about speccing stuff out and advice, let's talk canopy space. But that's not against you, Dr. Perp. That's just like in general. Since we're already ranting, we might as well just rant, right? Okay, so, you know, moment of truth time. Let's go ahead and dissolve. And we'll see if this thing catches on fire. Let's off switches. I always plug them in like this. I always plug them in like this just in case there's like some electrical fault and like shock yourself. So, okay, let's point it right to the camera to give you guys a nice big blinding look at this. It is funny that I grow orchids, but I still love Grow Mouse videos through new eyes. That's so cool. I love orchids. I think orchids are fantastic. I have a book on I have a couple books on orchids, and you know, I think the most, I don't know, maybe you tell us through new eyes. I think pretty much almost anybody that loves cannabis or plants in general has an appreciation for orchids. So, I mean, what are people doing with these orchids? Are they overwatering them, right, most of the time, or are they just not giving them enough light? You know, maybe tell us what's up on the orchids there through new eyes. I love weed though. Oh, word. All right, cool. Yeah, well, shit, we all love weed. All right, let's do this. Okay. Okay, got a little brightness. Got a little brightness. Let's see if anything's out. Let's see if anything's out. Okay, now I got my camera kind of set to manual mode, so, and the ISO is it's all the way down. Man, maybe I should have put it in auto. Actually, you know what? Let's go with this. I think the iPhone will go to auto, and maybe it'll just auto adjust, and we can kind of see what's going on. Okay. Yeah, that's better. That's better. Wow, I got all this camera crap, but I need a third hand or an assistant or something. I don't know if you guys would be opposed to that. Sexy assistant. One day, one day. Okay. Okay. Let's see if we can get a little bit better angle on this light. We'll see what is the complaint here. What is the complaint with the light? Okay, are we... Okay, what do you guys see? You need a Vanna White? Yeah, I'd take Vanna White as it is today. I mean, she's still looking good. Yeah, okay. Mr. C's got some ladies for me. Dude, I miss my ladies, man. I think like a couple people would be like, man, Mouse, you've changed, dude. Your attitude's changed, or like whatever. I was like, nah, fuck you. I haven't changed. I'm the same guy. But yeah, I have changed. The grow room is free therapy. Well, it's not free. The grow room is a therapeutic place. It is a place to relax your mind, your body, and your soul. You know, you pull up a stool or a chair, or you just sit right on the floor, and you admire your plants, and you know, you have that. I'm gonna get a little spiritual with you guys. I know I'm a science nerd, but you know, you have that spiritual connection with your plants. You know, you're nurturing them, and they're nurturing you back, and there's this sort of reciprocal kind of. Now, you guys please stop me if I'm going crazy, but I feel like there's this reciprocal energy transfer, or I don't know what it is, but when you don't have a garden going, yeah, dude, you get a little moody. You might get a little bit of a short temper on somebody. You know, coupled with the fact that you're smoking somebody else's stuff that you're having to shell out your own money for, as opposed to smoking your own, you know, that you nurtured and you put your love and energy into. So, yeah, this shit'll change you, bro. Shit'll change you. All right, enough of that. Enough of that. Make myself throw up in my mouth a little bit, but I do feel that way, straight up. Okay, so what's the complaint with this thing? I don't know what it is supposed to be OEM. So it looks like we've got some, let's hit a switch. We got a flowering switch. What does that do? Okay, that turns off 5 modules, leaving you with kind of these whitish pink hue color modules. Okay, and then I would assume the veg switch, yeah, that turns it all off. Okay. And then let's just click flowering on so you guys can kind of see. Okay, so that's just 4 of these pucks. Now, to me, it looks like most of the diodes are the same, and red just initiates these 5 pucks. Wait, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. With these reds. Now, these reds are dim, but they're still on. So that's probably, I'm trying to think. I mean, the diodes are on. Could be a voltage drop, and they're just not getting the voltage they need to, you know, run full brightness. The chips could just be bad. They could be going bad. So it still works. So the good news is the drivers probably work, and that I think is what we try to salvage in these builds, right? you know, when I did MedGrower's hack, I didn't get into MedGrower 1's hack to like go fully kitted out. I had bought some Veros, you know, and I was gonna like pop a few Veros in. And I started looking at the driver voltage, and the Veros were gonna leave a lot of volts on the table. The drivers in MedGrowers were enough to run 3 Veros, really soft, but not a 4th, but almost enough for a 4th. So that was gonna leave about 30 volts on the table, you know, times like, I don't know how many drivers, 6 drivers. So then I was like, okay, well, let me look at quantum boards. So I look at quantum boards, and the geometry of it, you know, just didn't fit. The quantum boards are a nice big PCB, and it just wouldn't fit. It will fit one, but that's it. So I started looking at the chilled stuff, and I was like, okay, well, yeah, let's do this. So could you know, kind of help promote the company and, you know, give MedGrower some cool, you know, spectral control. And by the end of the day, I had basically completely gutted that light and made it a whole brand new light. Lima Foxtrot is saying 1 light is out. Oh yeah, bro. Sorry, you gotta tap one of these for it to go on. You just start tapping it and it goes on. Okay, it'll dissolve. So we maybe have some loose electrical connections in here. We may have some diodes that are getting weak. But it looks like the drivers probably work. And if we test the drivers and the drivers are running any kind of respectable efficiency, then we'll probably save them. And respectable, 88% is on the verge of respectable. 91% driver efficiency is pretty respectable to me. And what that means is that if you put 100 watts into an LED, the driver pulls 109 watts from the wall. So only 9 watts is wasted to driver heat, and you get 100 of the watts to the LED. So that's a 91% efficient driver, right? It only wastes 9% of the total wattage going into the fixture. So that, you know, that's acceptable. Obviously we shoot for a little higher. The higher the better. I think 94.5, possibly as high as 95% is as much. Oh, Bonsai Breeder's taking off, 6 p.m. Gotta fly, peace out. All right, brother. Peace out, man. What's the Michigan girl? Hey, hey, hey. What do cows say? What's that joke? What does the gay cow say? Hey. Mr. C, grown for B. I have a small SK closet case you could play with. Mr. C, I appreciate that, but if it's an older closet case, there's nothing to do with those. A, they're already pretty damn good. And B, if it's the older closet case, it's a sole semiconductor AC powered board, which means that the PCB where the LEDs are on already has all the driver components soldered to the actual circuit board. And so you just simply supply AC power to the board, and it goes, it runs. It's a brilliant little light engine and a brilliant little product. And, you know, it's probably, well, that's how Spectrum King's able to offer a really good light like that at a very competitive price point, you know, promotionally like $199. I know some people pay $249 or even as high as $299, but that is a long-winded way of me saying you can't really hack one of those things unless you want to desolder all the LEDs. Yeah, closet case is amazing. And the new closet case 140s, I mean, if it is indeed a 30% efficacy increase, 25-30% efficacy increase, then, you know, we're talking real good. What is that noise? Dude, I get a little freaked out here in the office late at night. I just hear weird noises, and it's an office complex. I get scared. I'm not very gangster. I don't have any firearms or anything. I just get a whistle. I get a whistle and start running around, blowing a whistle. Okay. Okay, boring stream here. Here's my hand to look at. What? Okay. Mr. Sparkslot asks, what coverage area does that get? Well, that's a good question. And that's a question that kind of comes up a lot, is coverage area. And I think You know, I think Green Gene and I should definitely discuss coverage area on the Tech Talk because I really like to hear his perspectives on coverage area. So let's see, this light is 12 plus 7. It's about 19.5 inches by 19.5 inches. So it's a respectable size fixture at 19 by 19. And so coverage area is an interesting thing. I mean, what's the coverage area of a Gavita bulb? You know, a Gavita bulb is like, it's about 10 inches or so, you know, from end to end. The actual filament in the bulb, the gas envelope in the center is only a couple inches. And, you know, it's only about 1.25 inches wide. What's the coverage area of a Gavita? Well, I mean, it's a 6 by 6. Nominal, really 5 by 5 or 5 by 4 or something like that. So when you talk coverage area, it really has to do in part with, you know, A, how big the fixture itself is and how many watts are coming out of it or how many photons are coming out of it. So let's say this was a 1,000-watt true draw LED, then it would cover a 5 by 5 like no problem, you know. I don't even know what this one pulls. Let's say it pulls 300 watts. The fixture's obviously the same size. You know, that would cover more like a 3 by 3. So there's kind of a lot of factors. Obviously, optics plays, you know, into a big part of coverage area. But basically, the bigger the light, the lower and the more spread out the light sources are, the lower you can get it to the plants, and the more the coverage area is. The smaller lights you have to lift up high so they can spread out and get that same coverage area. So that's like a 2-hour show, bro. 2-hour show, bro. Ushuayo. I always said Ushio. And some reef aquarium nerds like, it's pronounced Ushuayo, bro. I'm like, whatever. I thought you said cover Jerry. I got small chan. You got a small chan? Knows I love him too. Well, I love you too. Cannabis sativa. Blake Ashadil. Mouth 5, gotta run. Get up in an hour and a half. Sucks, been wanting to chat. All right, well, I mean, that's kind of the purpose here, getting set up so I can hit a button on an iPad. Now I know the color that it turns when it goes live, and it's all wired. So now I can just hit the button. I get a couple more cams, and then we're good to go. These streams will be, I don't have to go into the computer or Google or anything. I just hit a button and it goes. So I'll do more of these, you guys. So have a good night's sleep, and we'll get back with you. You go into the DGC Nug throwdown? Dude, I feel so bad. Oh, Dago, you like the stream software? Well, here's a little dissolve for you. Dissolve. Actually, getting a little tired of the dissolves. Dissolves are so dope, but let's go with the wipe transition. Wipe. A little cheesy, but I hate the wipe. Wipe's lame. Let's go back with the dissolve. Okay, let's take this thing apart. You got my sun system in 96, still runs perfectly. Got my sun system in 1996. Well, dude, yes. Okay, I mean, I have a bunch of sun system stuff from, no, not 96. 96, I was still growing pubes back in 96, but, you know, 2003, 2004, I got a bunch of sun system stuff that still runs great, you know. I don't know where they're making it now, but they were making it in America, bending the metal, powder coating the metal, you know, wiring the ballast and everything. And as complacent as some of our young Americans are these days, we still build quality stuff here, don't we? We still build good stuff in America, I think, most of it. Chronicle Grows is here. Welcome, sir. Boston Deadhead Man. It's a beast. Hums like a bike. China. Why do those mammoth hats look so dope? I think it's because, the special snowflake thing. Like, if you could just buy one for like $30 or, you know, I don't know, I bet you these just the blanks cost like 15 or 20, but let's say you could buy one for 30 or 35 bucks. You just go to a website and buy one. You know, some people buy them, it'd be kind of cool, but I think it's the fact that you can't just go out and buy one. You gotta like win an Instagram contest or something. I think that's why people think they're cool. you know, because it's like hard to get. But I like the hat. I get a lot of compliments on it from the girls that work at the coffee shops. There's a naked coffee shop down the street. It's not naked. They wear, well, they wear swimsuits, but they're not like a traditional, you know, let's go to Splash Town swimsuit. They're kind of like when adult entertainment women, you know, strippers, you know, where they wear before they get naked for the dances, they wear, you know, like a swimsuity kind of thingy, but it's like a super revealing swimsuit. That's what these girls at this coffee shop wear. And I rolled up to it because the like nice fancy espresso place with the nice hardy plank and the super like swanky looking place was like full up. That's all the rage around here is these little shacks in parking lots, and then you just drive around. And the coffee's like blows Starbucks out of the water. But that's the rage. But there's so many of them that when there's more than 2 cars, I just keep rolling, you know, and I just go to the next one. And the only one that didn't have a line was this weird painted kind of greenish yellow building. And it was called Fantasy Coffee. And I mean, I kind of, you know how you kind of just think like, fantasy coffee? Sounds fantastic, you know, and it's kind of ghetto looking. So I roll up, and there's a girl, legit girl in this super scantily clad bathing suit. And I just said, hi, large iced coffee, please. And the coffee was $7, dude. $7 for a 24-ounce iced coffee. And I tipped her $2 because I didn't want to feel like a cheapskate. I never went back. Coffee wasn't that good. The girl was cute. I don't want to be I'm getting up there in age, guys. People say I look young, but I'll be turning 37 in a month. And I can't be doing, you know, all that caffeine and getting my heart racing and then, you know, be looking at some female at 6 o'clock, 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. I might have a heart attack on the way to work. Anyway. Mama. Let's get this view going. Dissolve. Okay, Pedro. Now, this isn't Pedro's fault. This isn't Pedro's fault. This is what happens. This is what happens when you F a stranger in the A. No, this is what happens when you have these really fine heat sinks that are, you know, that are actively cooled. You get a lot of dust, just like when you have a crazy cat lady girlfriend and she lets her cats purr up on your computer gaming rig or your editing rig because that's where it's warm and that's where those little fuckers like to purr up to. And you get all this dander and cat and dizzy bunny fibers and all this other BS in your heat sinks. So what's going to happen then to your thermal management, right? What's going to happen to the properties of the aluminum in the heat sink when aluminum heat sinks are designed to dissipate heat? And they can't because there's dust and hair and dizzy bunny fibers. I just like saying dizzy bunny fibers. Shout out Dizzy Grower. Dizzy bunny fibers all up on your heat sinks. And I mean, we're talking razor thin, guys. We are talking razor thin. That's about a ½ inch. Resist the urge to say that's what she said. Somebody in chat will get me. All right. Let's see what's going on inside the light engine. So we have more screws. Am I equipped to handle this size screw? Let's see. I am. Okay. Looks like about a 90mm DC fan. Pretty standard for these little light pucks. And we got some little 440 screws, or M3 probably, since it's Chinese. Might be slightly smaller than M3 screws. So you're going to need a few different size Phillips head, but it is all Phillips, which is kind of nice. Kind of easy. Whew, as I say that. I need one of those Grow Mouse. What's the brand? What's the brand of what? Oh, the screwdriver? Is that what you're referring to, Grow Noob? And oh, Grow Noob, I think you said hi to me in Dago's stream right, I literally was closing out the app, and I was like, oh, I hate leaving people hanging like that. And I think it was just last night. So, hi. You in a fight club, bro? No, but I think that's funny. I just don't get the context. Are you in a fight club? I mean, well, A, I couldn't tell you because you don't talk about fight club. Everyone knows that. Hold on. Anyone know Ninja's email address from Ocean Grown? I'll bet you it's got a dick in it. I'll bet you that much, Johnny C. But no, I don't know his email. I don't even know if he has email, bro. Well, here's what you want to do, Johnny C. You want to get up with Ninja, put notifications on his YouTube, and when he goes live streaming gaming stuff late at night, you get all his attention you ever wanted, man. I can't wait to see what he doing. You look my age. I'm 28 in about a month as well. You don't look a day over 27, bro. Heatsink candy. Dare you to smoke it. Oh, dude. Oh. Mal 5 is being rather specific about the cats. Well, that's what they do, Nate and Jerem. They're rubbing on warm spots. All right. We're caught up. We're caught up with chat. I need one of those. What's the brand? I'm assuming, Grow Noob, you were referring to this Makita. Thanks, I almost cried that night. Yes, the screwdriver. Okay. Grow Noob, Grow Noob, Grow Noob. Triple shout out. Hands in dirt. Oh my God, I feel you. Smoking on my break. All right, let's get, okay. So what did we say? Grow Noob. This is the Makita suite of screwdrivers. And it's not going to compare to something like a Milwaukee or a Hilti or a Snap-on or even a DeWalt. You know, it is a Makita, but for small electronics and small electronics assembly, this is a fantastic little driver. You can get it on Amazon. And the cool part about it is it's a 7.2 lithium ion that lasts a very long time, bro. This is the battery. It charges in under 60 minutes. And you don't even have to charge it every day. We use these at work, and we're constantly driving them. Here's the other great thing about it. The torque settings, right on the top. Let's go dissolve. You've got torque settings right on the top of the unit. So when you're putting lots of screws in that are going to be the same thing, you can set it to something conservative like a 5. So when you're driving these little screws in, you know, and you're driving a lot of them in, you reach that point and it, well, here, you can hear it torquing down. Hold on. And it's not going to strip your screw head. So that's pretty amazing about it. The other cool thing is it can turn into, you know, a standard kind of drill, you know, with the little handle there. So that's pretty cool. And the other thing about it is for $100, you can get a 2-piece, which is the Makita drill and the Makita torque, you know, what do they call that thing? Impact? The Impact. It's about 109, 119 bucks for the pair. And the Impact thing can run 3-inch drywall screws or deck screws all day. And the battery, even though this is a 12 volt, the battery fits the same charger. So you buy this and that, now you got multiple chargers, multiple batteries. I love this stuff, and it's affordable. So there you go, Grow Noob. And the only reason I went into that much detail about that is because this thing is freaking incredible. I can't believe I used to use screwdrivers. Now that I have this thing, everything's like 10 times faster. Okay, so let's get a little tighter shot here. Am I going to lose focus if I go tighter? No, that's the other way. Okay. Here we go. How's that for you guys? How's the focus? Focus is not sharp. The focus is not sharp. Dang it. I should have put it on autofocus. Well, maybe we can do that now. Here, autofocus. 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 There we go. Let's go. Keep it right there. Boom. Okay. Then we don't have to worry about that anymore. Ugh. Dude. Better than it was before. Okay, good. Good, 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 good. Are there any industrial size drivers? Yeah, check out Spectrum King's profile. They got some industrial, bigger than industrial. They're talking 3-phase. Well, I guess that's industrial. But anyway. Okay, so we got some problems. The optics are frickin' dirty. And the problem with these, you know, the Chinese kind of import LEDs is that, well, how do you clean your optics? You got to remove these screws to remove the whole light engine first. Then you got to, I don't know, you probably don't have to pull, well, yeah, you kind of have to pull the fans off to access the screws that screw the lenses off. And then you got to do these little baby screws just to get at the lenses for cleaning. And I don't know, I don't know if you guys can see that, but like, yeah, that's a dirty lens. That's probably 25% light output reduction just from a very dirty lens right there. So that's a problem. Let's take a look at the light engine itself. Let's go for a close-up. Let's go ahead and dissolve. Okay. Okay. Who points with a ring finger? Did I point with a ring finger? I point with a ring finger. Sometimes I point with a ring finger because, I don't know, I mean, I know everyone's seen my thumbs. I know this. And no one really gives me too hard of a time or makes fun of me too much. Not that I care. I mean, it's part of your body that you can't change. But I think sometimes I'll point with my pinky to like cover up my thumb on camera so that it's not distracting because it's pretty mutated and that can be, mutations be distracting, yo. That's why. Now don't you feel like a dick for making fun of my pinky point? You jerk. Okay, so now I'm all feeling a little bit, what's that word? Insecure about my finger situation. Only pimps point with a ring finger, bitch. I added the bitch, but that's from Ghost in the Sunlight. So there you go. Can you tell us the thumb story again, Brian? See? Yeah, dude. You know, I was giving my mom a hard time. We're getting in and out of the minivan, 1991 Ford, what do they call this? Aerostar van. And, you know, my mom wasn't having it. She just was not having it that day. And so, you know, I'm reaching, you know, for the edge of the sliding door on the van, and my mom just says, fuck it, and closes the van door, and it severed both of my thumbs off. And they fell there on the gravel. She freaked out, put them on ice. We went to the emergency room to, you know, have my thumbs reattached. And we get to the emergency room, and they had already started turning color. They couldn't attach them. The nerve end, there's too much nerve damage. And so luckily there was a young person that had passed away prematurely, and you know, their thumbs were way too small. I would have just had like little Trump thumbs, you know, but their toes were about the right size and age, and so they grafted this child's toes, big toes, onto my thumbs where my thumbs were. And, you know, the transplant took, and they kind of grew in, and, you know, as I aged, they grew, you know, normally with my hands, and so they're just kind of a little bit larger, you know, because they're some kids' baby toes. Okay, so let's look at this light engine. Now I have to have a pointing screwdriver. I forget who was making fun of me, but yeah. So pretty typical, you know, we got the Epistars, and if you've listened to me drone on in the past, you know my disdain for Epistars. Epistars can grow some pretty good quality cannabis. They pump out about 1.4 micromoles per joule. For frame of reference, your typical single-ended HPS, brand new, is pumping out about the same, 1.3, 1.4. So any gains you have by going to an Epistar LED, there are gains to be had. Even though the efficacy is the same, you know, you have a little bit more targeted spectrum with some of these Epistar LEDs, so your gains kind of come from photosynthetic efficiency and the way that the plants can more efficiently photosynthesize under, a targeted spectrum. So there are some gains to be had, but there's a lot of shortcomings with these epistars. Number one, so it's called a Zener diode. And typically this would be just a tiny little micro dot on any other LED. You'd almost need a microscope to see it, but you can see it. But these don't have that. And so these Epistar boards have to have this Zener diode so that if I start getting in here and touching with my finger on a dry day and I'm wearing my North Face jacket and I'm all staticky, a static discharge on this LED could blow it out. So this acts as like a little buffer that takes that charge and keeps it from blowing out the diode. So you're going to have these on there, which kind of messes with your board size. You got to have another component on the board that could go out. And in Mars, a lot of the Mars ones do go out, and they send you these Zener diodes to replace yourself. I know Baby J had to do something with that. The other problem with them is that the package, and by package I mean the actual diode itself, is inside this plastic little shell that has a little slug on the back. It's like a mini heat sink behind the LED. So now you've got an interface between the LED and the slug package. That's interface number one. Interface number two is the slug package to the PC board. So that's two thermal interfaces. A typical LED would just be bonded right to the board. So that's just one thermal interface. So they get hotter than a normal LED like a Cree or an Osram or a Samsung because of those two interfaces. The other problem is it has multiple optical interfaces. So rather than a standard silicone covering over the phosphor layer, these are white diodes here, which means that they're really a 450 nanometer blue underneath, and there's a phosphor, which is like a chemical lens, it's basically a lens. There's some chemistry involved in, this is phosphor too, in the creation of this phosphor coating. That's what takes the blue diodes and turns them into white, warm white, cool white, etc. So there's always going to be some photon losses across any phosphor, whether it's COBs or whatever. So you've got that, but a typical diode, a more high-end diode, is going to be covered with a silicone dome. This is some kind of plastic. And so there are losses, transmission or transmittive losses across this plastic shell. The transmittance isn't as high as silicone, not nearly as high as silicone. So you get some losses, photon losses, before you even come out of the LED. And then when I see these guys boasting this secondary lensing technology, which is those little, they're like little caps, they're like white, then that's another lens over the lens. So you got two thermal transmissions and two optical transmissions on an Epistar diode. And that's why they're so bad, and that's why they're so inefficient. But a lot of people use them. A lot of people grow fire. So, damn, that was so many words. Ugh. You gonna save this to watch later, Bob Wiedla? I don't know, maybe. So anyway, so no surprise here. But what is a surprise is we do have a little chip on board LED in the center, which is kind of cool. Now this, in my opinion, isn't a true, well, is it? I mean, it's got, okay, I see wire bonds. I see some wire bonding here. And this is clearly a phosphor coating. So yeah, it is a true COB. It is a true chip on board. A lot of them that look like this are just multi-chips that are not phosphor coated, that are not wire bonded. They're basically a miniature PCB, and a lot of people call them M-COBs, like on Alibaba, but they're not really a COB. They don't have a continuous phosphor layer over them, but that's minutia. So single positive, single negative, decent little COB in the middle. I'll bet you it's probably something like a 18 volt, probably maxes out about an amp. So there's that. Okay, so light engines are shit. That was 30, 45 minutes just to say light engines are shit. But that's no, I mean, everybody knows that. But Pedros said it grew. Pedros said it grew some pretty good stuff. So, you know, I'm not trying to hate too hard. Okay, dissolve. Let's widen back up here. Yeah, see, if I had more cameras, I'd have more camera angles. I wouldn't have to dick around with the camera. That's okay. This is just a test stream with a few of the homies, the closest, the besties. I hate the term bestie, and I hate the word selfie. I can't stand it. And everyone's saying it now. I was watching that show, Last Chance U, on Netflix, you know, where the dudes that, you know, had some problems in school or whatnot, but they're ballers, you know, they go there to try to figure some things out, get back on the field. And I even hear those dudes saying, oh, let's take a selfie. I'm like, dude, a selfie is when you hold a camera in front of yourself. And it's like a monologue. You only need one person for a monologue. You know, two people can't have a monologue. It's called a dialogue. How can a selfie be two people with a camera? I hate it. I'm sorry. Please smack me right in the face if you ever hear me saying selfie. I think as a nation, I think as a society, we're just kind of getting stupider. Don't you think? Are we? Are we getting stupider? Okay, Bob Weedla. Gotta go shut down the shop. I'll try to come by later. Okay. Come by later. Hey, Norwegian Frog. What's up? Am I overthinking it, dude? Am I overthinking the selfie thing? Oh, I see why Norwegian Frog's a big selfie taker and a selfie fan. He's getting defensive over there. You nerd. All right. Well, I'll give it to these guys. I'll bet you these babies are super easy to assemble. And that's where, you know, that's where you can get these kind of lights at a competitive price, because you got some little gal in a hairnet, you know, hanging out over wherever overseas. And you got a couple million of these little pucks that are all pre-assembled. You know, they're all standard parts, and you just pop them in with their delicate little fingers. Great at giving sensual massages and assembling LED lights. So the Lord put them on the planet. God, this thing is dusty. I'm gonna need to take a second shower just to get all this business off of me. Because I'm the smart one in this situation. We have kids educated on Facebook. Yeah, that's a freaking shame. Especially when, you know, 70% of statistics are completely made up, including this one. Sensual LED light. Oh yeah, we could do that. Slow motion. I'll hold it up to my face and just go. So I blow the dust off in 4K slow-mo. Oh man. Yeah, I was thinking, I don't even know what to make a video about, guys. I mean, like, the garden really has driven, you know, my inspiration for making videos. Like, it's either some project to suit the garden, or a light to grow in the garden, or the garden itself. And without the garden, it's kind of, I don't know. I mean, what I need to do is just grab the camera and just make a video. I make a video about this. Like, I just don't know. I just don't think it matters to people. I think most people probably would just want me to kind of get back into it. And I think that's probably like the reason why I haven't made a video, just because it's like, I like things, you know, I'm kind of OCD, so I like things to have like a clear start and finish, you know, and just coming out and making some random video is just, it doesn't suit me. But I think that's what I'm gonna have to do. It sounds like you need a garden. Yeah, Sean, so I do. LED grow lights on a budget. You know, that comes from Ambition-PK. LED grow lights on a budget. I think I really like that idea, because, you know, I think most of my focus has kind of been on like, here is, you know, if you had access to a bunch of tools and, you know, you didn't mind spending money on this, that, and the other, here's kind of what you could achieve. You don't necessarily have to be a company to make a light that looks kind of like it was built at a company. But God, that's such a, I think it gets people, you know, kind of moist or whatever, but it's not, it doesn't suit everybody. And I think that, oh, Brooklyn, good night, bro. Thanks for stopping in. Thanks for the hang. And have a good night. Unagi. Like the thumb story. Cheers, Unagi. Cheers, bro. So wait, who was saying that? Let's give credit where credit is due. Dago, I tried to make a video with you and you never showed up for breakfast. Dude. Well, I'll tell that story next. Videos on light design are always welcome. Ambition PK, LED grow lights on a budget. Yeah, I like that idea a lot. I have Luminous COBs here, Chronicles. You know, I think that could be a good one. Yeah, I think grow lights on a budget would be cool, and I think probably what we could do, I had an idea for an extreme budget grow light, but the problem is I don't really care about negative comments and stuff like that. I mean, I do. I kind of get butthurt, and then I go tell Dago, and then Dago tells me not to worry about it and just to calm down, and I'm like, okay, you're right. But the problem with like an extreme budget grow is that we are dealing with electrical components here, and there are safety concerns, and I am not a licensed electrician, although you don't need a license to mess around with most DC electronics, unless you're talking about, you know, PV panels and stuff. But doing budget stuff oftentimes requires the cutting of corners, and I would never do a video or recommend anything that I thought was unsafe, but, you know, things kind of get a little questionable. And, you know, we get 20, 30,000 people watching your videos sometimes. You know, I just don't want people hating on me, being like, oh, I can't believe you'd make a video recommending, you know, that people strap these LEDs onto an old trash can, you know, that's so unsafe or whatever. So there are some concerns there, but maybe I just say, fuck it, you know, whatever. Need more shows like Conjunction Junction. What are your thoughts on the Citizen 1216? I don't know anything about him. I know what the 12 means. The 12 means 12 chips in series, 18 chips in parallel, right? Because the Citizen 1818 is 18 in series, 18 in parallel. If the 12 comes first, that's like a 36 volt chip. Is that right, Brian? Brian? Thoughts on the new LM301B? I can't talk about that. Not that I won't, I just can't. Non-disclosure, bro. Everybody's got to sign them. Woo! Mama. All right, let's get the cable tie cutter. Let's get the cable tie cutter. Yeah, I had to pop up this stream because, man, I've had I had MedGrower 1's light for, oh man, 5 months. I think I had it. I opened it the first day I got it. I opened it. I devised a plan, and then I kind of set it under my work table, and forgot about it. Then I moved, and then packaged it up. Then I lost it. And I had the damn thing for 5 months. That's why I went so hard on MedGrower 1's light, because I was like, dude, this poor guy. I mean, it was just sitting in his closet, so he wasn't doing nothing with it, but I just kind of felt like you should go hard on it. But Pedros light I've already had now for like, I've had it for like 2 weeks, and I've just opened it, like literally took it out of the box for this stream. And that's just kind of how it rolls sometimes, man. It's like starting is like 90% of the battle. Well, starting's like half the battle. Okay, see, torque screwdriver. We're gonna have to go torque it up. But if I was going the other way, it'd keep me from stripping it. All right. Oh, gosh. Okay. Oh, boy. Yikes, I don't like the looks of that. Dissolve. Oh, boy. Fire hazard numero uno. Okay, ProGrow. These push lock terminals have 2 openings for a reason. When you want to daisy chain something, you can simply use the open terminal. They're ramrodding 2 Ds into one hole. Not safe. Not safe. Oh my God. I You hate seeing that, guys. You really hate seeing that when you got a close friend that you hung with, that you smoked with, and he's got AC wires that are in a fixture that he paid for that are just dangling out like that. No bueno. No bueno. Okay, interesting. These appear to have potentiometers, internal potentiometers for dimming, so that could come in kind of handy. As far as ballasts go, or drivers go, I think these are definitely some of the, the higher end ones. They're not completely sealed. They have some venting on the side, so that's pretty good. So now what we would have to do is pop them open and see what their stats are. Of course, they're not going to have any kind of labeling on them, right? No labeling, no voltage, no current. They're not trying to make it easy on the hacksters. Not trying to make them easy to hack, that's for sure. Okay. What's going on in chat? Max, coffee, joints, and knowledge from Grow Mouse. Good start for the day. All right, man. No bueno, Pedro, no bueno. Yeah, 2 Ds. What? Oh, man. Uh-oh. Got some drama in the scene? Let's see what's going on. Oh. Girl sending me flowers and blowing me kisses? You're going to ban them? What else was she doing? She causing problems? That's funny. No, good job moderating. Good job moderating, Norwegian Frog. What was that? I kind of recognize that name. How well does a can of air work when trying to clean a light like this? Can of air works pretty good, actually. She's a sexy bot, or sexy bot. Oh man, one of my favorite lines from one of my favorite movies, silly movies, is that movie Pop Star, Never Stop Poppin'. And the one guy says to the other guy, "How many followers you got on Twitter?" He's like, "I got like 500,000. He goes, "Well, I got 6 million, or whatever." And he's like, "Most of those are probably bots." Some of those are probably bots. Anyway, I should not say movie quotes, because when you say a movie quote that no one gets, you have to follow it with, "Well, you got to see the movie." Or like well, you had to be there. Well, if you had to be there, it's not that funny of a story. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. Enhance. 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 Okay. Fully enhanced. Okay. Okay. Interesting. So it looks like, how many drivers are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, cool. So each, let me pull this into frame now that we're fully enhanced. Each driver powers 1 module. There are 9 modules. There are 9 drivers. There are 9 fans. Each driver has an AC in. Each driver has a fan out, so there's a dedicated 12-volt fan power supply on each driver, which is nice. And then each LED has a DC out, and believe it or not, there is a potentiometer installed on the driver themselves, which is located right here. And so these are dimmable drivers as well. And yes, I wasn't talking shit. I was second guessing myself when I was talking about how unsafe it was to have 2 Ds in 1 hole, but now it's confirmed. This is line, this is neutral, so you can daisy chain lines, and you can daisy chain neutrals. It's not line neutral, it's line neutral. So why would you put 2 wires in 1 hole? That is such a freaking fire hazard. Such a fire hazard. With one sticking out, its insulation all sticking out. Oh, I hate seeing stuff like that, man. Okay. So let's see here. Ooh. Oh boy. Let's try that again. Sorry about that audio. Brand, coin power. There's a LED temperature indicating LED light. Maybe the coil has to warm up or something. Hot, cold? Huh. Weird. I don't know why this fin is bent. It's inside the driver case. Okay, no stats, but the website is cosignetech.com. So maybe we can just look it up. Of course, we could just put a multimeter to it, but we'd have to put a load on it to figure out the current. We could easily figure out the open circuit voltage of it. That's kind of off-camera stuff. I kind of wanted to do that on camera though, right? But I'd have to go track down some stuff. I'd have to go track down a power cord to power it up. I got my multimeter. I was not prepared for this. Maybe we'll do this in a part 2. That's the name of this new late night stream too. Compose. 2 wires, 1 hole with chrome mouse. Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay. Yeah, guys, I think we're just gonna have to bear with this. We're gonna have to get some stats, because like, what if somebody checks this shit out in the morning and they're like, oh, I just sat here for an hour and this fucking guy doesn't even, you know, give us the money shot. So, okay, my multimeter I have. How could I just quickly and efficiently get a power cord with 2 empty leads on it? I think I know how. Hold on real quick. Let me think about this. All right, Mr. Sparks-a-Lot. Stay medicated, y'all. Gonna grub. Peace. Peace, chat. All right, buddy. Two wires, 1 hole. Okay. I'm gonna walk over here, and I'm mic'd up. So I'm assuming these people are still hearing me as I go off into this dark closet and I grab a bottle of Lubriderm, and you just hear this noise. I don't know why I just did that. I know I'm mic'd up. I know that I'm mic'd up. Silly moods. Getting silly with some silly moods. Okay. Yeah, that'll work. That will work. Did you guys hear that? Oh, they did. I mean, I knew I was mic'd up. I thought there was a chance maybe the mic reception would cut out, but I don't know why. I don't know why I do stuff like that. Then I go watch the stream, and I'm like, dude, you're such a freaking idiot. Why did you do that? Now you have to delete the stream. Okay. So what I'm doing, let's dehance. Dehance. Okay. I've got a driver here, and I'm going to just snip the leads off of it. Oh, psych. It's a joke. It's a joke, gang. A little electrocution joke for you, late night. Dehance. Okay, so I just took this cord. It is just a lamp cord, and I'm just going to strip it back, and we're gonna energize this driver. And did anybody fall for the electrocution joke? You thought that Woody thought it was real? Okay. Okay, good. I'm glad my stupid little joke fooled somebody. Through New Eyes. You know, makes a good series about cops. No, it's funny. I really do appreciate the praise when it comes to the series, you know, the videos on LED and stuff, but golly, guys, they are so dated now. I mean, any LED video that's a year old is dated as fuck. I really need to get up on it. You know, maybe that's what I could do. And I've talked about that before. I think I've even made that promise before. And I hate being an empty promiser. Maybe I should go back through all my videos, watch them, which I hate doing, but just like, I don't know, muscle down and watch them. And then just follow through on all the shit that I said I was going to do that I never did, which I hate when I do. I hate when other YouTubers do that. Like, they make all these big claims and then they disappear and only make one video a month and piss everybody off. AKA me. Yeah, follow through. We could go follow through, but now I'm just talking out loud. The list is big. At least you, super Luigi. At least he's honest. At least he's honest. All the shit Grandma said he would do, but he never did. List is longer than my dong. Oh, No Till Army. What's up, dog? Good to see you streaming. Good to see you too, man. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, so here we are. And where are we at with this stream? Okay, slight enhancement. Sorry about all the camera bumps, guys. Just get a little zoom. Slight enhancement. There we go. Okay. So we got the driver. It has bare traces on the back, but we're going to go ahead and put it on its plastic cover just to, you know, protect it against this metal, make sure it doesn't short out. There it is. I'm going to go ahead and plug it in. Now, before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and, just for safety, I'm going to go ahead and hook up the multimeter first. Here's my multimeter of choice. And there's a lot of, actually probably every multimeter out on the market is better than this one. But I like this one because I know how to use it and it's cheap. This is the, and now back to 2 wires, 1 hole with your host chroma. Jago, you are crazy. It is true what they say about it, about you, man. You are crazy. All right, so this is the multimeter that I would recommend you guys buy, and I would recommend anyone to buy this multimeter, even if they don't know what a multimeter is. Because to be honest with you, I didn't know what a multimeter was for a long time. Why is it called a multimeter? Anyway, this is the Harbor Freight red one, and it costs $7 on special, or as high as $11.99 off special. And it does DC electronics, and speaking of holes, you're going to be using primarily, there are 3 holes on this one. So you're getting a little bonus there. COM is black, and the middle hole is the hole you'll be primarily using for everything except for current. The amps, the milliamps, that will be in the top. So you can kind of blow these things out if you have them in the wrong holes. So, you know, it's 1 per hole, and use these 2 holes for voltage. So we're going to do voltage first. DCV is, let's just do a dissolve. So DCV is what we're going to be choosing here, DC volts. And I like this one because it's kind of geared more towards DC electronic stuff than AC. And, you know, they're $7, so you get 1 or 2 of them. So we'll go ahead into DC. And I mean, I know it's going to be more than 20 DC volts, but it's not going to be 1,000. It'll be somewhere around 50 to 100. So we'll set it to 200 DC volts. And dissolve. And then we'll hook it up. So here we go. So now this one I installed a little alligator clamp on just for, because I only have, you know, 2 hands. So I'll go ahead and clamp down the positive, which is pretty dangerously close to the negative lead, but I'm just going to be careful with it. And if it arcs out, Well, I'll just replace it for Pedro. What we should be doing is getting another lead, negative side lead. And that's what we will do for safety. I'm sorry, excuse me just a second. Let me go get another DC side lead so that I don't show you guys bad technique. Okay. So many storage organizers. It's so weird to be talking to yourself. I mean, I know there's 100 and some odd people that can hear me, but I'm in a closet and there's no closet light, and I'm just really weird. If someone was looking in the window right now, they'd see me in a dark closet talking to myself, which is super weird. But that's okay. Never been afraid to be a little weird. Of course, oh man. If this was only the story of my life, just all females. It's all females. I can't see anything with this light. This could be fail. This could be fail, but we'll bring it into the light, see if we can find the male side connector. I'm a little overstocked on females right now because I keep using up the male ones and then probably throwing them away or put them in builds. Just quickly go, yeah, overthinking. Yeah, I do overthink. Let's just dissolve into this here. Earlier in the stream, if you're still with us, what I was talking about, and I'm not trying to hate on anybody. In fact, just the opposite. You know, there's a lot of guys out there on YouTube and stuff like that that are, you know, they're hustling, they're trying to, you know, they're trying to get their name out there and bring in some LEDs from overseas or whatever. And when they talk about secondary lens technology, and I'm not going to mention any specific names here, but here's what secondary lens technology means when it comes to these Epistars. You take a chip that is already handicapped by not being silicone covered because it's covered with like some kind of polycarbonate material or acrylic, which gets foggy over time and degrades. Then you're gonna like talk about the secondary lens technology as if it was like some big bonus, like supersizing it or something. Here's secondary lens technology. Snap. And then you have another lens that's, you know, these are actually pretty decent. They're probably 96%. Nah, scratch that. I don't know what they are, so I'm not even going to pull out a number. But the transmittance on these is actually pretty good. But, you know, now you have 1, 2, 3 different air to material interfaces. So, you know, here's your secondary optic or secondary lensing technology. They do beam the light down, you know, 60 degree or whatever, but I don't know. Not a big fan. Just not a big fan. Okay, I'm looking for this. I'm looking for a connector that can kind of go in there, and then I can more safely test this deal. And we're just rolling with it here, guys, because well, it's late and I didn't really prepare for this, but I want to give you guys something. Give you a little something for your trouble. Something for the effort. And it's funny because I realize, because I hang out in streams too, that really the presenter or the streamer is somewhere between 20 and 60 or 20 and 70% of the entertainment value of coming to these streams, depending on how entertaining the streamer is. Most of the fun is in chat. I mean, hell, half the time I'm watching these, depending on who it is, I'm kind of like more amused with chat, or like I'll zone out on whatever topic they're talking about and just hang out with chat. It really doesn't matter if the person's even saying anything. You probably just have a stream. I'll just put up a camera with some paint drying or something. Just paint a wall, let it start drying, and let you guys hang out and chat, and you'll probably be 150 people deep just hanging out, having a good time. Uh-oh, do we have drama? Okay, I'm head to bed. Okay, Ambition PK, heading to bed. Got to get up for the new job tomorrow. Yippee. All right, good luck for the new job, dude. Thanks for that idea about the budget grow lights. I think it's a really good one, and I think I want to make a move on something like that. Old man hands. Old man hands. What's the lowest amount anyone has ever yielded per watt with LEDs? I've heard of some guys doing, you know, like half a gram per watt, something like that. You can never be overstocked with females. I think you're right. Black Friday. Black Friday is coming up. Can you show us how to make a DIY rosin press with Harbor Freight stuff? Yeah, you know, I mean, I think Green Gin did a pretty damn good job of doing what I consider to be an economical one. I mean, there's only so much money to be saved when you got to buy a press or whatever. The reason I haven't made a rosin press video is that a cheap one doesn't really interest me. What interests me is maybe some more features. You know, more features, sensors, timers, faster warming plates. I don't know. I'll take it under advisement, Dago. Okay, so we plug this in. Multimeter is on. Let's initiate power. Let's go to this view here. And I think, yeah, you guys can see that okay. Okay, so let's see. I don't even know if the driver's on. There is a little indicator light. Let's see, let's switch this, I think. Okay, cold. So our cold, let me move my stupid head out of the way. This is open electronics, so I am gonna be pretty careful here, guys. Some little light came on, said cold. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, so let's take an open circuit voltage of this driver, and that will tell us that'll just tell us how many LEDs and what we can run here. So very carefully. Oh, could you imagine that? Good old Grow Mouse didn't know that red is positive. You'd think he'd been doing this a minute. Okay, red is positive, guys, just in case anybody didn't know. Let's hook that up. I mean, it's only a negative sign, it's the only difference, but just for the sake of the stream. And I'm being real careful with this alligator clip not to arc this DC positive and negative because, you know, these drivers, these cheaper drivers, they don't have reverse polarity or they don't have the protections that a mean well. Mean wells you can really kind of try to screw them up, and generally it's really tough to screw them up. The only way to screw them up is when you put them in an airtight case that can't breathe. Interesting, that's low. Okay, so we got 56.5 DC volts. 56.5. That's the open circuit voltage on the DC side. 56.5, 56.5. Okay, let me write that down. Actually, you know what? Screw it. Let's just write it right on the driver. And I'm assuming they're all the same. And I'm assuming I can write through this dust. 56.5 volts DC. Okay, so did you ever get around to making a website for hats, shirts, and stickers? Shrimp Sticks, I bribed Shrimp Sticks to help me with graphic design, and he basically made hats and shirts for me. Thank you, No-Till Army. Thank you. I'm a visual learner, so now that you've typed it, 56.5 volts. So what can we do with 56.5 volts? Well, I'll have to get an update from Shrimp Sticks. He was traveling, going to a wedding, so we'll figure out what's up with those shirts and stuff. But like, I hate the fact that it's been like 6 months, and I'm like, yeah, guys, I'll get you some hats and some shirts. And it's like, I should be jumping out of my chair to get people hooked up with gear if they want to wear the gear. Like, I'm honored by that. Like, the fact that you would put a little piece of me on your body. I should be stoked on that. I should be fucking doing that. Grow Noob's going to bed. Good night, everybody. Take it easy. Appreciate the shouty. All right. No problem, Grow Noob. Have a good night. But I'm I'm on the case. I'm not on the case. I had to freaking bribe somebody to get them on the case. Shrimp Sticks is on the case. He's done the designs. He's actually gone so far as to go into a hat place, you know, and maybe trying to leverage some of his buying power, you know, for some of the promotional items that he gets into to try to get me hooked up at a price. I don't want to be trying to get $40 for a hat from people. You know, I want to be able to get them in enough quantity to where, you know, I can actually put them in people's hands for a fair price for a hat, you know. I'm not trying to make a lot of money. I don't want to lose money on the deal. You know, that's, I mean, because I'm going to have to fork out some cash up front and then, you know, get paid as people buy them. And so there will have to be a slight markup so that if they don't all sell, I won't be stuck, you know, out a bunch of cheese. But yeah, well, it'll be fair. It'll be cool. It'll be awesome. Okay. I pay $40 for a hat if it comes with a seed. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a good idea. Put some seeds in the brim. Where's the Grow Mouse hats? That's what we're talking about. They're coming. Shrimp Sticks is on it, but don't bother him. He says he's on it. Okay, we're gonna find out. So we got 56.5 volts DC on each of these drivers, which is pretty cool. That opens us up to just about anything, and we'll talk about that in a second. Reproduction Grow Mouse helmets, Grow Mouse lube. That's too funny. I'm losing my train of thought. Here's my hand, just so you can see something. Okay. That did get weird quick. It got real weird. LED hats? Yeah, Crystal. Got the little LED gross condoms. What? Who wants a 3-inch condom, Blackheart? Okay, so what can you do with 56.5 volts? First, before we even start talking about anything, let's exercise proper safety. Let's make sure all our AC connections are unplugged, and they are. So now we can go on living, and we don't have 100 people that witness my demise. So 56.5 volts, what can we do with that? Let's try this. Let's grab this giant notepad. When you search Amazon for giant notepad, here's what comes out. Giant notepad. Okay. Can we see that? Yeah, we can see that. And we're gonna have some bleed through, but that's all right. I can afford 2 sheets of paper for you guys. Hell, I can even afford 3 if it bleeds into the third. How many volts? 56.5 volts DC. That's per driver. And then we have 9 drivers. So that's what? 504 volts total available. 504 V total. That's a lot of DC voltage. Because there's 9 of these at 56 volts, that gives us a lot of flexibility. So what can we run? What can we run? Well, I mean, the obvious choice is the Vero 29 Gen 7. The 50 volt version is the C is the 69 volt. I'm gonna have to ask my chat room. I'm gonna have to ask I'm gonna have to look it up. I gotta look it up, guys. I could go over to. I'll just go to Rapid. They got the. I got a quick link. The only downside to the streaming software is that you cannot screen share. I'd have to like invite myself to be able to screen share. I guess I could take the phone and hold the phone. Okay, Vera. Okay, so Vera 29 comes in a B, a D, and a C. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so I think is it the B version? B version is, I'm the guy that made the stupid video on this and I don't know this. How is that possible? Yeah, B is 52 volts. Okay. Embarrassing. That's okay. We all get a little rusty. We all forget things. B version is 52 volts nominal, right? Which means, you know, it'll go for like 48 or 49 volts all the way up to like 53 volts or whatever. But still, 52, it's inside of there. Actually, you know what? I'll tell you what. Let's go, because I can't screen share, what we're going to do is we're just going to do a quick dissolve. Dissolve. Okay. We just point at the screen. So, I mean, you can get them from Rapid, you can get them from DigiKey, you can get them from Cutter, you can get them from King Bright. You can get them just about anywhere, and they're like 25 bucks. I think my Grow Mouse discount code's still working on this here, so that's going to give you like an extra buck off. So it's like 24 bucks. So let's just call it 25. So that is, yeah, that's the B version Vero. And we can mix them all up, right? We could do 3500K, we could do 3000K, we could do 2700K, 90 CRI. I mean, pretty much just whatever they're going to carry or what anybody's going to carry. And just confirming here, yes, this is the, I love the way they do it. That's why I buy from Rapid, you know, even if like sometimes it's, you know, the same cost or $1 more, it's because of the support. This is the B 52 volt version of the array. It's like, you ain't gonna find that on DigiKey, man. You ain't gonna find that on DigiKey. You gotta freaking go learn how to read a scientific PDF spreadsheet. So looks like, yeah, Rapid has definitely stepped up their bridge-lux game, and I mean, they got like all of them pretty much now. 80 CRI, yes, sweet. They do have some 90 CRI. I definitely like to throw some 90 CRI into the mix. 3000K 90 CRI. That would probably be a good one to go with. Yeah. Do you recommend the poke-in version? I always recommend the poke-in version, bro. Who doesn't like that poke-in? Yeah, no, I don't sorry, I was trying to be funny. Here's the serious answer to that question, long to win. The poke-in version, yeah, they call that one the SE version. And that one, I don't think that one's available in a 52 volt. That's only available in like a 30 some odd volt. 36 volt, 37 volt. So on this particular, I do recommend it, like if you're just doing something from scratch. But if we used a 36 volt poke in here, man, we're gonna leave a lot of wattage on the table because we're not gonna be able to put 2 of them on this 56 volts. You know, we're only gonna be able to put 1. And so that the poke-in would be a bad choice for this. Now, what Spaceball is saying, Green Gene always said the C version, and yeah, technically the Vero, the C version is like the most efficient, but it is. I mean, truly, it is, you know, the best one, but it's a 69 volt version, and it is better. It's not much better though. I mean, you're going to gain a little bit of efficacy out of the C version Vero, but it's not going to fit. It's not going to fit. We only have 56 volts, so we're not even close to being able to run the C. So C is out completely. Okay, 56.5. What else can we run on that? Well, we could run the Horticulture Lighting Group Quantum Board 288. I mean, they're out of stock, but if I could get one, I could run that because that's a 54 volt board as well. But the problem is we're going to be able to fit 2 on here, and they're big, which is great, but there's 9 drivers. So I'd only be able to use 2 out of the 9 drivers. So that's not going to work for us. So just due to size, that's a no. I could use some chilled boards, and the 56 is going to give us enough to run 1 white channel on, like if I use the bigger boards, 175 watt chilled boards, I could run a white channel with 1 driver, a white channel with another, a red driver would work on that, and then one of these drivers would run 2 blue channels. So I could fit some chilled stuff, but then again, you know, a chilled board or any other board is going to be kind of big in this small package. So I really think it's going to be COBs. I think it's going to be Veros because that's the easy one, and it's got proven performance and a wide variety of colors available. The other option would be the Citizens. So Citizen COBs would work on these drivers. And we would be looking at not anything that starts with a 12, right? Because that means 36 volt typically. So that's a no. We'd be looking at the stuff that starts with the 18. So it'd be like the 1818s, the 18, is there an 1812? I think so. There's an 1825. Anything that's 18, that's going to be like 49 to 52 volts, which is going to fit really nice inside of this package here. I don't know why I just said the word package. It wasn't meant to be sexual. This driver, this package, LEDs that can be referred to as a package, this package will fit in this driver. So really, we got a lot of options here. They're very flexible, a lot of options. So what we now need to do is, and then Luminous, I don't know. Okay, well let's look at it. Hold on. What website sells Luminous? Cobkits.com? I think that's where I bought mine. Yes. Chronicle Grows never fails to remind us. Let's dissolve. Never fails to remind us. Here's another one of the homies from Roll It Up, cobkits.com. Great website, easy to remember, great stock. Having a little problem focusing here, but Luminous, this is a recommendation from Chronicle. Luminous CXM22. Oh, interesting. They're cheaper than Veros. I think I knew that, but maybe I didn't know that. Let's check this one out. This looks pretty promising. 3500K in a 90 CRI. Let's feast a little ganders at that. And again, this is cobkits.com. No sponsorship, no affiliation. Good site though, good prices. Tells you right how many are in stock, so when you're planning your build, you know, you don't have to like freak out. Unless, you know, they're getting down to like just a few. So let's just read the description. New CXM22 Gen 3 offers excellent performance on par with the 3590 Cree and the CLU 048 1818 from Citizen, which is another option for this build. And we can check the price in a little bit. It's a 50 volt nominal COB, which works great for us, which can operate up to 2400 milliamps, which is good. I mean, it's good for the chip. These little China drivers are usually like 500, 600, 700 milliamps. So that means that we're only going to be getting about 25% of this 130 watts on these drivers, of course, because they typically run soft. They can be mounted right to the heat sinks with these handy mounting holes. And if I do say myself, these little holes do look pretty handy. You just run a screw right through it. 2 holes, 1 screw. There's also Ideal holder, BJB holder, which they carry. They have the pre-cut thermal pads, which, I mean, I think they're charged like $1 for these, which to me, totally worth it, right? Like, you don't have to get the stupid thermal paste and the alcohol and spread it out. Just convenience. $1 each. Totally go for that. Tech specs on the COBs are found in the data sheet. I'm not in a very big data sheet mood right now, so. And look at that, they're about $5 cheaper than the CLU 048 1818. So Luminous, I think, is going to be the package of choice for this. And Chronicles is right. That's a very nice package. Very nice package. Dissolve. Okay, so I think Luminous it is. I think Luminous it is. Let's update the just for the guys that and the girls that are going to watch later. So I think what we're going to go with is Luminous CXM22. Those are $19 each. They're 50 volt nominal, and that's going to save us $6 off of the Vero price, which is 25 bucks, right? And then, you know, $6 ain't a lot of money, but when you multiply it times 9, what's that, $54? Hey, you get a couple hamburgers for that. So that's $54 cheaper going with the Luminous. So for a hack like that, I think Chronicles is right, dude. I think Chronicles is right. The Luminous. Did you just say that? Wow. Did I just say what? I don't know. Hard to tell if you guys are talking to each other or me. Should have went Citizen just so we could see that new blue. I think, well, I'll go grab the blues. I don't think I can fire them up right now, Shredder, because, well, I mean, I could fire them up for like just a brief moment, but I'm not set up to really be firing COBs right now. I don't want to take a $20 chip and just hot fire it without a heat sink or anything like that and potentially blow it up. And I don't have a holder, so I have to find it. Here they are. Here's what they look like, and they're pretty easy to spot. Let's go ahead and enhance. Okay, so this is the 400, this is for Shredder. This is the 400 Shredder OG. This is the 450 nanometer blue COB. So this baby comes out blue, and you probably notice there's a pretty big difference between this and this. And so I think this is pretty much common knowledge, but for the new people, the phosphor coating that's yellow here, the more yellow it is, typically the bluer the LED. So this is a 6500K. This one's a 3000. See how golden it is? And all of these have the same 450 nanometer blue diodes underneath the phosphor, but the yellow coating makes it white light. Obviously, this one's not yellow. It's just this is just like a clear phosphor. So this is truly a 450 nanometer blue. And there's actually nothing really revolutionary about it. All they've done is made this part clear, which Cree could have done and Bridgelux could have done, but Citizen did it. And I think that's pretty cool. You know, these are around 20 bucks, maybe 19 to $24, somewhere in that range. And if you want to pack a lot of 450, which, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's some chlorophyll peaks over there, you can get that pretty efficiently with this Citizen chip. And you can get these from cobkits.com, I believe, still carries them, and then Rapid carries them now. So I think that's pretty cool. Now, if they had this in a 660, I think we'd all be digging on that, but, you know, they don't have that. I just don't think the chemistry's there for that right now. But they do have this. There's another Citizen COB. Now, this is from their Vivid series, I believe. And this is for, like, meat cases. Like, if you have some bad meat and you want to make your meat look more pink, this is a pink COB. And I believe this was a recommendation from Chronicle, like, 2 years ago that I bought based on his recommendation, and I never even test fired him. But kind of has an interesting phosphor color. And these are hot pink for the purposes of viewing your meat. So Papa Shake Shake. Lots of pretty girls have toe thumb. Yeah, I know. Thank you for bringing up the thumbs again. I know, yeah, I've seen some pretty girls that have the toe thumb. But unfortunately, I don't want to procreate with those girls because there'd be a pretty higher than likely chance that our offspring would then have toe thumb. You know, we don't want to be creating hybrids with no toe thumb, dog. Life is hard enough as it is. Running around with toe thumb, I don't want to be bringing progeny into this world. You know, those grow mouse hybrids got to be head to toe legit, man. I ain't. Okay, now Megan Fox does have toe thumb. I would definitely create progeny with her. I would definitely create progeny with her. What's the big deal about the blues, Vincente? No, there is no big deal about the blues. They're just different, right? I mean, well, actually, scratch that. The big deal about the blues is that they're efficient as fuck. I mean, they're electrically, like radiant efficiency, electrical wall plate efficiency. They are insanely efficient. I think they're somewhere in the 60s. Maybe, I don't want to say 70 because I can't back that up, but they're something like 65, 60 some odd % more efficient. And so you can get a lot of 450 nanometer blue very efficiently, putting out a lot of energy in photons and not a lot of energy and heat to the heatsink. So I guess that's a big deal. Can I just call you Vicente? Nah, I'm not going to try to call you Vincent because Vicente's got flavor. Vicente. There's no accento though, Vicente. I don't know, I just think they're kind of cool. It's just different. It's just different, man. It's dehance. Okay, what were we doing, guys? Okay, we were going to try to put a load on this thing, and that's way too much dehancement. We're going to enhance. 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 Okay, there we go. So this is the #1 question I get when it comes to hacks. What are the stats on the driver? As you guys can see, if you're just now joining us, Vinny. Okay, I like that, Vinny. I like that. They're lasers? They're fucking lasers? Yeah, I'll leave this up, Timberlog. I'll leave this up. How big of a load? Justin. I'm sorry. I know I make a lot of the sexual jokes. It just comes from being very immature, and I know that about myself. But that really is a legitimate electrical term. I mean, we have an electrical appliance here. We need to measure our current. And to do so, we have to put a load on the driver. And now, because your head's in the gutter, you put my head in the gutter just in time to grow. So thank you. Everyone thank just in time to grow. So is that Citizen Pink an equivalent to a Vero 1750? I don't know. I thought you were the guy that recommended them to me. Maybe you weren't. I don't know what they look like. Because I have a problem, dude. I just buy shit, and I just don't really know why I buy it, and then I never hook it up, and I just hoard it. And then people ask me if they could buy it or they could have it, and then I lie and I say no, I'm going to use it, but then I have no intentions on using it. I'll just keep hoarding it forever, and it's just it's the great conundrum, man. Being OCD yet being a pack rat. Because here's the thing. That minute, the millisecond, the nanosecond that you throw it out, you need it. You throw away that box of screws or that box of hardware that came with that flat screen TV with all that extra shit in that flat screen TV mount that you didn't think you'd ever need. And then you get into a project and you're like, dude, if I wouldn't have thrown away all that extra hardware, I need those little polyurethane washers or those bolts. That happened to me. That happened to me. And then I had to go out and buy them. Okay, I'm losing focus here. GM probably has newspapers and cats stacked to the roof. Billy Blaze. You need an invention. Oh, you need an intervention, Slicksta. An intervention hoarder. I think grow room hoarders would be a fantastic series idea. I really, really do. But let's get serious here, guys. We gotta talk about this load. Just in time to grow is very curious about what kind of load we're gonna put on this LED. So what we've done is we've taken a single driver, we've removed it from the case here, and I've gone ahead and just taken a lamp cord that has a simple on-off, joking, on-off kind of clicker thingy. Simple lamp cord, and we're just powering a single driver. That way you don't have to deal with all this crap. So powering the driver, got the base on the bottom to protect the traces from shorting out. I'll plug this into the AC side once I get my multimeter connected. We have a single puck connected here. We've got the fans. I don't know which ones are which anymore. On this side, I guess I should figure that out. I'm assuming the thicker conductors or the thicker wire is going to be for the LED. I think it's a pretty safe assumption, but I'm just going to confirm that here by removing this cable tie and sorting through the dust. So yeah, I guess that's pretty obvious. The thicker the thicker conductors. I think we're going to need to enhance. Damn, that was a dehance. Okay. Okay. So we have basically a single driver connected to a single LED. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to preserve the, to test, what we need to do now is test our current, the milliamps. So we know we have enough voltage in the driver to run anything that's 56 volts, like a Luminous or a Citizen 1818 or a Vero version B. So we know that we can run it. Now we need to determine how strong we're going to run it, and the strength comes from the current, but because there's no markings on here, we're going to just need to test. Now this one actually has on the silk screen of the board or on the solder mask has some model numbers and stuff that we could look up, but a lot of them don't, so we're going to do this demonstration. So what we need to do is we need to actually snip one of these wires. This is completely unplugged right now for safety. And we're going to need to put the multimeter in line with the DC side of the driver. So what I'm going to do is, just to preserve this connection here, I'm going to snip back here. So I'm going to be snipping the, I don't know, does it matter, positive or negative? Electrons flow this way. It doesn't matter. I'll just snip the positive side. I'll snip the positive side, and we'll make our connections there. So I have snipped this. Let me drag in a close-up cam here. Let's see how closely the iPhone can focus on what's going on. Dissolve. Okay, here we go. Chat, I'm not paying attention to you. I'm concentrating on this. Take your bets. Spaceballs, I'm getting closer to an amp than 500 milliamps. Must be nice to be you, bro. Big amps. Okay, so I've snipped the positive DC wire coming out of here. Now I'll just grab my wire strippers, strip back a little bit of wire. Okay, and now here comes the multimeter trick. So we have our Harbor Freight multimeter here. Get a little higher shot here. There we go, Harbor Freight multimeter. Now this is where our holes come into play. COM stays COM, but now we're moving into checking a current. So we're going to take it and put it into, see how it says 10 amp DC there. So we move it into the top hole. And then we're going to have to switch our multimeter dial to amps, which will be right here. You could also check it here, but this is microamps, milliamps 20, and then there's a 200 milliamp, but we're going to be more like 500 milliamps. So I'll just put it into the 10 amp slot, and we'll see what we get. So we'll just go ahead and turn that on. I've got mine outfitted with an alligator clip. So we'll be able to clip on one side, and then actually what I'm going to do here is I'm going to strip this extra long so I can just wrap it around the probe of the multimeter so I can be hands-free in case I get shocked and die, which I won't. You're not going to get shocked with 50 volts, 500 milliamp DC, but just to be safe. Okay, we got that. And then here, look, that's why you buy these thingies. The third hand's gonna protect us. Okay, there's my forearm. When you're right-handed, you put the camera on the left side when you stream, dude. I watched this video the other day. A guy did a whole 20-minute tutorial with the camera on the right-hand side, and he's right-handed. The whole freaking thing was 20 minutes of this guy's forearm, just like what I just showed you guys. Okay, energize. We're gonna energize. Get this extension cord. It'll be so funny if something shorts or blows up right in front of you guys. This is like a lot of pressure, guys. All right, check that out. We got power, so that's good. Wowzers. Whoa, guys. That's saying 1.5 amps or 1500 milliamps. Huh. 1.6, 1.7. No, it's drifting. That's wrong. That can't be right. That can't be right. Huh. That can't be right. It's still going. It's still going. Hold on. Do I have my multimeter in the wrong spot? God, this is a little bit embarrassing. Huh. Maybe I have it in the wrong hole. Maybe I just gave you guys this whole hole, this entire hole thing, and I have it in amps. No, I had it in amps DC. It's not. What am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong, guys? Have some. We're on? Do I not know how to use a multimeter? Have I not done this in the past? You shouldn't, you're not supposed to hot swap like that, but that's okay. No, this couldn't be 1400 milliamp or 1500 milliamp driver, could it? That'd be wild. Okay, bear with me. We gotta figure this out for the sake of Pedro. We gotta figure this out for Pedro's sake. I bet you. No. Okay. Maybe I just screwed something up. Right now I'm swapping the probes, positive and negative. Maybe it matters. Let's try this again. Okay. I'm expecting like 500 milliamps. No, it's still reading 1.3. Okay, well maybe. Told you, man, cheap multimeters are shit. You're probably right, but dude, I've done work with this thing. Yeah, I might need to bring in a power supply and well, wait, how would a power supply? Just swap this again. Maybe the multimeter's batteries are going out, that's why it's drifting. Could this be 1.3 amps? It could be. It could be a 1300 milliamp driver, although I doubt it. I'll tell you what. Let's see if this dimming potentiometer changes the current, then we'll know. No, dimming potentiometer does nothing. Well, we'll have to edit out this last part of the stream if we're going to keep it live. Because either I don't know how to use a multimeter, my batteries are going bad in the multimeter, or these are 1400 milliamp. Okay, if they were 1.4 amp, and they were 50 volts, 56 volts, it'd be like a 75 watt driver. Are these capable? I guess, yeah, I guess they have enough circuitry to be capable of 75 watts, but then that'd be 75 watts times 9. No, that doesn't work. Doesn't make sense. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing. Stream's over. Stream's over. Or is it? What if I could locate my kilowatt? If I could locate my kilowatt, then we could figure this out from the AC side, and we could just determine, here it is. Oh my gosh, how about that? Okay. Okay. Let's try this. Sorry. Well, we're just hanging out anyways. It's all good. Well, we're gonna, okay, so hey guys, if you're like Grow Mouse and you're supposed to be this like foremost expert on LED stuff, yet you don't know how to work a multimeter, we can work it backwards. So we know that we have 56.5 volts DC. And we know that this single module on a kilowatt, well, actually, I'll tell you what. Hold on real quick. Let me unplug the fan. Because we're going to have to compensate for driver inefficiency. We don't need to compensate for the fan as well. Okay, so that fan uses about 3 watts. So 56.6 watts on a 56.5. How about that? 56.5 volts DC, 56.5 watts, which is not coincidental. I mean, this thing works. I know this thing works, so let's do the math on it. Let's do the math on it. I thought this office was going to be big enough for me to roll around. Here's the stream setup. I've got this like freaking 8-foot tripod, and I'm like perched underneath it because I want to build like some kind of up and over rig where the camera can be like right overhead, but I haven't had time. So, okay, I don't have time to do anything. Oh my God, you're famous. Vinny, you're fucking famous, bro. Woody. Super famous, bro. All right. Calculator. Initiate calculations. Okay. So if we had a 56 watt AC, and we would assume these shitty drivers are typically about 90% efficient. So we take that 56 watts AC times 0.9, which should give us an approximation on the DC side of it. So that's going to be about 50 watts DC, which means that if we divide that by the voltage DC, which is 56.5, that should give us the current of 892 milliamps, which is probably 900 milliamps. So I think that's a safe bet. I think that's a safe bet. Where's my marker? And I'm going to have to confirm this, of course, with another better multimeter. I think it's 900 milliamps. So that should do us pretty good. So it's a 50 watt driver. 50, that's 100. 50, that's 200. 50, that's 300. Yeah, so it's a 450 watt light, the ProGrow 450. Duh. Duh. Sometimes you overthink it, man. Sometimes you overthink it. Okay, it's a 450 watt light. It's got 9 drivers. They're 50 watt drivers. So that's the deal. That's the deal. 900 milliamp, 56.5 volts. Whew, thank God that's over and only mildly embarrassing. Let's dissolve. Let's dehance. Nope, that was an enhance. That was a full enhance. Uh-oh. What was that? Was the light on and now it's off? And did it overheat? It overheated. I think it overheated. Did it? Yeah, it's plugged in. The connections are made. Huh. I turned off the fan and the freaking module overheated. Oh, well, they're garbage anyway. Fuck it. Okay, we are going downhill fast, guys. I am so glad there's not many. How many of the fan is off? I know, it needed the fan. Let's see how hot this thing is. Let's see if I burn my hand. Ooh, baby. Whoo. Dude. Dude, I don't have that FLIR camera here. Do I have any way to test the temperature to see how hot it is? I'd say it's probably 200 degrees Fahrenheit. You could cook food on it. Okay. Note to self, add thermal switches. You won't get that with Luminous. Let's see if I burn my hand. Zen 626. Roasted, bro, roasted. Okay, so I guess I'm committed on this hack. Toe thumb can't accurately measure those temps, Slick says. Just shows how close to the wind they run. Yeah, dude, they run them. They run them quick. I mean, look at it though, guys. You couldn't even cool a frickin', you could not cool a processor on a computer with this. That is fucking hot. Okay, so I don't want to put a lot of money into this thing on these razor thin heat sinks, because if I put thermal switches on each, those are going to run me $5 or $6. I'm going to have $45 in thermal switches protecting this shit. So what I could do is I could do pin heat sinks here and just drill holes, or I could, well, yeah, I'd have to drill a center hole, and I have to drill holes. I think I can get some pin heat sinks for like, oh, I don't know, probably $11 each if I got like some kind of homie discount. 11 to 14 bucks each. So let's call it $15. And then the chips are 19 bucks. What's 15 plus 19? 34. What's 34 times 9? That I do need a calculator for. Let's see. So 15 plus 19 is 34 bucks times 9. Okay, it's going to be $300 to hack this light. It's going to be, yeah, it's going to be $300 to hack this light. But we can keep the same wattage. We can still keep it too much. Papa Shake, $300 is too much to hack a light and turn garbage into treasures? I don't know. What do you guys think? Would you put $300 into this light? Hey, Shadonk, missed you too. Almost, oh, well, I fully missed you. So thanks for almost missing me. Okay, so will we put $306 into this light? And what will we get? Okay, right now I would imagine, I'll bet you, okay, I'll bet you with the burnt out diodes, not burnt out, I mean they're just not emitting light, and you know the thing's still consuming the 450 watts. So with the conjunction of them not putting out light, and as I showed in the beginning of the stream, where's the lens? Look at how dirty this lens is, guys. What camera are we on? Here. Come on, GH5. Focus like I know you can. Dirty, dirty lens. See where my index finger is? That's the part that I haven't wiped. So with the dirt on this lens and the lack of, you know, full brightness on these red LEDs and stuff, this thing's still fucking hot. I can comfortably hold it, but it's still hot. All things considered, I'm just going to take a stab at this and say we're putting out probably 1 micromole per joule at this state, at this condition. And this light was probably 1.4 well, with all the red, it might have been 1.5 micromoles per joule. We can get up to, let's see, I mean, golly, if we're running these Vero 50 volts at just an amp, I mean, Green Gene has a verified sphere, integrating sphere report with the same chips running at 2 amps, and he's getting 1.97 micromoles per joule. Let's call it 2 micromoles per joule. I'll bet you we can go 2.2, maybe as high as 2.3 micromoles per joule for $300. Okay, so let's do the math on that. I mean, let's just take the brand new number, 1.4 micromoles per joule, divide that by 2.2 micromoles per joule. Dude, we get a 37% increase in light output for the same wattage for $300. 37% more photons for the same 450 watts consumed, and that will only cost us $306? I don't know. I think that would be a good investment. Oh, Chronicle, you want to take it? Oh, Chronicles, you want some camera porn? Here, dude, let's just, fuck. What camera am I on? Okay, dissolve. Let's go mobile. I got the Edelkrone tilt head, and I've got a new Edelkrone thing that I just ordered because this thing sucks balls. It's supposed to be like a universal articulating monitor arm, and I haven't even really fired this up yet, but I'm excited to be able to record on an SSD drive. And the Ninja Inferno, and I got the Edelkrone articulating arm that goes on the GH5 with that. And then I think you've seen this in the background, the slider, I don't know if you see it. It's a camera slider, but it's so compact, and like you can keep it on the tripod, and you know, gets here. Let's dissolve. Let's do some slide shots. This is for Chronicles. Of course, this is streaming, so it might be a little jerky, but you know, you got the dope slides, bro. Dope slides. Slides on the rag. Anyway, yeah, smooth action. So got that going, and then dude, I buy all this crap. I need to make videos to actually justify it. Got that 45 milli macro lens, and I have no cannabis plants to take macro shots with. I bought this one used on eBay. Try to save some money. The Leica 45. So I definitely need to get some weed plants, some cannabis plants, so I can actually do some photography. Because right now I got expensive paperweights. Okay. Dude, you could make some great porn videos with that Woody. Totally make some great porn. Or raffle it off, and he says, if you get the Vero 29s, get the Cs. They're the most efficient versions. Shadonk, you are absolutely right. The Cs are the most efficient versions. With this particular setup, so since you joined us late, just to fill you in, Pedros Grow Room sent me an old ProGrow 450 imported, you know, LED light. And unfortunately, its drivers only have 56.5 volts available, and there's 9 of them. So we're not going to be able to run the C version Veros, you know, with the 69 volts they need, unfortunately. So we're going to have to stick with the Bs, but I think we'll be okay with the Bs. You know, Green Gene's getting 1.97 micromoles at 2 amp. We're going to be running these at 1 amp. So I think we'll get 2.2 micromoles per joule out of these things. And it's going to be about $300. So I think we're going to be in good shape. So let me see. Let's dehance this chat. Northern Lights 18, welcome. Through New Eyes, okay. Cesar 69 volt, yeah, that's right. Okay. Come to my garden and film. Country Gardens 502. Yeah, No Till Army says I need a macro. Dude, macro's awesome for more than just macro. I mean, I've been using it as like a, just like standing really far back and kind of getting in tight on some stuff, like my notepad, stupid stuff I'm filming. It's pretty cool. So who said that? Wait, hold on. I just caught something. Somebody needs some clarification. Oh, Lloyd Bag says you lost me at 2.2. Okay, so when you step out of talking about lumens and you start talking about the light that makes plants grow, we start talking about micromoles of photons that actually drive photosynthesis. And the units that we use, the metric we use to kind of compare, like the rate, or you know, kind of like the efficiency, but like the rate of usable light that gets delivered to the plants, you know, from the wattage consumed from the wall, we say micromoles per joule.
Another way of saying that is ppf per watt, photosynthetic photon flux per watt. And so when I was saying 1.9, 2.2, I was basically saying like 2.2 units of light come out per every watt that gets consumed. It's kind of like how that goes, and that's kind of how we're talking the lingo. Yes, Mark Damish says, Damish. 45 is a great portrait lens too. Absolutely, man. Like that, I don't have anybody to film that, you know, to knowingly film, but like when I point my camera at people out the window, I'm like, damn, their face is like really nice in the frame as I shoot people out the window. Which makes me wonder what that there's like another lens in the Micro Four Thirds family that's like a 42.5. It's like a portrait lens. It was more expensive. And its minimum focusing distance is much further. I think that's like a true portrait lens. I really don't know. I mean, this particular one, I think it has a 4-inch minimum focusing distance. So that, you know, that's obviously really nice for what I'm trying to do eventually, which is, you know, take some pictures of some buds real close. Okay. He's shooting people out his window. I work at a 502 that uses 95% LEDs, all indoor. Interesting. Interesting, Country Gardens 502. That's really cool, man. Well, I'm sitting just right up here in Everett, Washington, so if you're anywhere close by, holla, man, holla. They making the 90mm lens due to crop sensors? Yeah. So it ends up being like a 2-time crop. So it would be like if you're shooting on a Nikon or Canon or like a traditional DSLR camera, it'd be like a 90mm equivalent, something like that. I only know enough to sound like I know what I'm talking about, but I don't know that much about camera stuff. I just know enough to like nod my head, like, you know, with sports, I don't know anything. So you start talking sports and I'm like, oh yeah, you guys see the big game? Oh yeah, the big game. Sports ball. Okay. Isn't the 56 volt driver too much for the 50 volt Luminous? That is a great question, Steve Smith, and that comes up all the time. No, it's not. When it comes to voltage, you do not have to perfectly match up your voltage output of your driver, which is 56 volts in this instance, and the voltage required by the LED to turn on, which, you know, would be like 50 volts. Those don't have to match up. And in fact, you could take a 300 volt driver and put it to a 50 volt cob and be fine, assuming that that driver was capable of staying within what's called its constant current range at 50 volts. In practice, that's typically not the case, but the voltage, where voltage is, overvolting is more comes into play, is like the thickness of the traces on a PCB and the connectors that are used, because you can kind of get like a static shock. It's called an arc. You know, like with welding, you know, you strike an arc, and that's super high voltage. So you can run in a risk of arcing if your connectors aren't rated at 300 or 600 volts. But that's a great question, Steve, and that's not a concern at all. A few volts over, even 100 volts over, 150 volts into a 50 volt cob would be no problem whatsoever. Where you run into the problem is where if you try to run too much current through it. How can we get in touch? Country Gardens asks. Instagram would really probably be the best place if you have it. It's just so much faster for me to just have chats there than, I don't even know how to check. Do you guys, I don't know, do you guys ever private message me on YouTube? Let me check. I don't know if I know how to check. Every time I need to check messages on YouTube, I have to Google actually I'm going to Google it right now. How to check private messages on YouTube. Okay. Clicker Creator Studio. I'm gonna do this later. Don't even private message me on YouTube. I don't even know how to check the messages. Instagram would be absolutely the best. Oh, New Day Cannabis. Oh, I'm gonna look that up. New Day Cannabis. New Day Cannabis. Are you sure it's not a daycare, bro? Or a church? No, I'm just joking. That's cool. New Day Cannabis. Hey, it's a new day every time the lights flip on, baby. Cowboy Cannabis. Living Soil. I dig it. I dig it. Zero synthetic fertilizers or pesticides. Can a CXA, Jason Voorhees asks, can a CXA 2530 be replaced with a CXB 3590? Cree says on the website it would be a direct replacement. Yes, it would absolutely be a direct replacement in terms of the voltage, because a CXA is going to be a few volts higher than a CXB. So if you have a driver that can run CXAs, it will absolutely run a CXB, because CXB just takes less volts. But the CXA is obviously a smaller chip than the CXB 3590. Those numbers on the end, the 2530 and the 3590, you know, they typically refer to the light emitting surface. So you got a 35 millimeter COB in the CXB versus a 25 millimeter. So assuming you have a big enough heat sink in the right holder, yes, you can. How can I buy drivers cheaply on a large scale? Spaceball asks. Who is working with me? Bravo Electronics. I don't know what you mean by a large scale. Are you talking 100 or more? Or are you talking like 24? If you're talking 24, go to Bravo Electronics and contact them and just ask them for a price on that quantity, because they've always been willing to at least come down 15 up to 25%, no, 15 up to 20% on like a 20 lot. For 1,000 kWs, for 1,000 of them, go right to Meanwell. Go right to Meanwell USA in San Francisco Bay Area and contact them, set up a wholesale account, and just get them right from them. That's where we get them. Yeah, Meanwell will work with you. I mean, you're gonna need a business permit of some kind. Country Gardens, I'll hit you up on IG, Mal. Never used it. You'll use it for me. Oh man, that makes me feel special. You sign up an account just for me? My bra. My bra. Oh, yeah, okay. You guys are in New Day Cannabis up in They got distribution in Spokane. Pullman. A lot of Spokane. Okay, Spokane. Cool. Okay, gang. I'm gonna cut it off. Oh my God, it's 2:30 at night. Golly, I'm gonna have to sleep at work. Okay. Any final thoughts? You made your Instagram account for me, Shadunk? You did not. I really love your Instagram account. You're taking great photos. You got great builds. Shredder OG, dude, loving my chilled 400. Thanks for throwing it together so quick. I'm about to put 4QB around it. Dude, see, I don't even, honestly, I don't know. I mean, I know people's real names, like, because they order through the website, like, with their real name, but I wish people that were ordering chilled stuff would start putting their Instagram handles or whatever in the notes on the order, you know, so I could, like, follow you guys back, because I'm having to, like, figure this out, like, who these people are that have ordered, and some of the people I've talked to on the phone, they didn't even realize it was me, and we could have been chatting it up. So, okay, I'm going to answer a couple more questions because I don't want to leave people hanging. PRN download, can you please restart this stream? I just got home from work. I'll make sure that it stays up, dude. I'm not going to take it down. I only did like 5 stupid things in the whole video. I didn't do anything super fucking weird. Couple just, oh, the jerk, that noise was kind of stupid, but I can live with it. Yeah, it'll stay up, PRN. You're good. Wrestling, Wrestling 24200. I'm currently using 2 HLG 240s, 1400 milliamp. with the Vero 20 array kit. I switched out to 480 1400. Would that be more efficient? Yes. If you're running at 220 volts, if you're running at 110 volt, don't even go through the hassle, man. You're looking at like a 1 percentage point gain or so from the 240 to the 480. If you are going to run, this is for wrestling, if you are going to run at 220 volt AC, the HLG 320 and up, so 320, 480, 600 are the most efficient drivers that Meanwheel makes if you run at the 220 volt AC. You can achieve as high as like 94.5% driver efficiency. So you know that can be a major bottleneck in your system. If you have a 1,000-watt system and you gain 1% efficiency, you know you're shaving 10 watts per percent of driver heat out. So you got to do the math. You got to keep that in perspective. If you are going to use those 240s for something else and you're going to have to buy drivers anyway, then you know, go ahead. But you got to keep that in perspective. If you're going to shell out a couple $100 just to get more efficient, let me make sure my math's right. 1,000-watt system times 0.01, yeah, that's 10 watts. But you could potentially be getting as high as 4 percentage points by going from an HLG 240 on standard wall power to an HLG 480 at 220. You could be going 3 to 4%. So that could be 40 watts of wasted driver heat that you're eliminating. That might be worth it for you. Depends on the money. Super Chilo, man. Just woke up. What's up? Have you tested the new silicone lens for the SE? I'm hoarding them, Ziggy DB, but I have not tested them, bro. I have not. I just hoarding shit. I actually caught it growing live. Oh, thanks, the Valley Grower. Glad you caught it live. I'm just kind of signing off. Long to win. Do you know what chilled LED has in store? There's a temporary hold on DIY kits. Yeah, we're working on the DIY. We're trying to make it a little more user-friendly. And also the boards themselves, the PCBs, are currently being manufactured. We used to have one company manufacture the PCBs. Because the value is not in a $9 PCB, the value is in all the LEDs. So we would get those in-house and we would physically look over hundreds of boards, inspecting them with just our eyeballs to make sure we didn't propagate a B-grade bare PCB board with like hundreds of dollars worth of diodes. So that's the way we used to do it. And we had full control over that. And we don't want to send our chips to China to have them pick in place because we have heard many stories of people sending top bins to China for pick and place, and then they get back boards that do not put out the light output of a top bin. They put the light output of like a mid bin, and we have friends in the industry that have gotten things sphere tested, and they're like, fucking Samsung, they sent us S5s. No, they sent you S6. The pick and place in China took the liberty of stealing your S6s and propagating your boards with S5s and sending them back, and you have no recourse. So that's one of the reasons. So now we're moving to a complete turnkey place out of Canada that is going to manufacture the PCBs, take delivery of the LEDs, take full responsibility over them, and pick and place them, and cover diode attrition, which is when the pick and place loses a diode. So it's a big change, so that we never run out of boards again. But we have to test this turnkey in-house company and their ability to get us boards, in a timely manner and in quantity. So that's why we had to take them out of stock, and that's why it's already been 2 weeks out of stock. So that is a very detailed, overly detailed reason. Have you built yourself a fight stick for classic fighting games like Street Fighter 2? No, I have not. Crust Cheese, you're my hero. I recently finished up a Cree CXP 3590 grow coming from Nichia, and before Cree Azure and Burpa builds. I'm amazed. Oh, well, Crust Cheese, I'm so happy that you're happy. Your happiness makes me happy. The shaman, what is the downside to constant current HG 185-36B drivers. Oh, so these are constant current, those are constant voltage, constant current drivers. They have the ability to toggle between constant current and constant voltage mode depending on what kind of load you put on them. There's no disadvantage to those kind of drivers other than you have to run them in parallel. But if you run enough devices in parallel to take up that current and one or two of them goes out, you should be fine. A lot of people run them like that. And I don't think it's a problem. In fact, it's actually slightly more flexible because let's say you put a bunch of 36-volt Crees on there. Let's say you put 4 of them on there and you're getting 200 watts at a certain efficiency. And then later, maybe you want to put 4 more of them on there and you want to drop the current in half. Wattage stays the same, but your efficiency goes up. So it's a little more flexibility that way, the Shaman. But yeah, I mean, like if the wrong wire gets severed, you could have a problem. You could have a problem. I don't want to, man, I want to elaborate on this. I'm going to elaborate on this more. If you're using the ideal holders, they have 2 holes on the poke ends for the positive and the negative. I suggest you use both. So when you're doing a parallel wiring configuration on a COB or on a quantum board, obviously, you know, a positive, the same positive goes to all the boards and the same negative goes to all the boards. That's just parallel wiring. But typically, that's like a one-way process. I'm going to actually, you know what? I'm going to elaborate on this. We're going to keep this going. Where's my phone? We're just going to do this down and dirty. Let's dissolve. Okay. Can you see me? Yes, you can. Okay. I'm going to do this with a quantum board because it's just easier for me to draw a rectangle. It's larger. So with a quantum board, you have 2 sets of terminals, Molex push lock, and I think, just roll with me here, I think it's like positive, positive, negative, negative, right? And so just for the sake of saving Sharpie, let's just say we had 3 boards that we were going to run in parallel from our driver. Let's just say this is our driver. And here's the positive to the driver, here's the negative. So the way that would go is you would go positive, 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 and let's just say it was a 3 amp driver. And you know, that's 1 amp, that's 1,000 milliamps to each of these quantum boards, let's just say. Okay, same thing here. Negative goes to all 3 of the negatives. And that's how you would hook that up, right? You got 3 quantum boards, you split it, you split the negatives, you split the positive, it's all good. Well, you know, then that gets severed, right? So now this 3 amps is going 1,500 to each, 1,500 to each, you know, and another one gets severed and then you're blowing boards, right? So what you can do is you can take the back sides of these boards and also connect them to the positives, right? So now if this connection gets severed, well, you're still connected here. And so in any parallel wiring configuration, whether it's quantum boards or COBs, if it's got 2 positive inlets, tie both of the positives to this big positive bus. You can create a big positive bus with something. I'll show you something in a second. And just if it's got a positive connection, put a couple positives per board. That way, if you have one that gets severed, it's not a problem. Same thing with the Crees. You know, Crees typically have the, you know, the COB holder like this, and each of the ideal Cree COB holders have 2 poke-ins. Right, so you got positive, you got negative, and there's a spot for 2 wires. So go ahead and use both. You know, go ahead and use both. That way, if there's a single connection problem and that gets severed, you've got the backup. And when I said creating a positive bus, this is what you can do. This is one of the many things. This isn't probably like the cleanest, most preferred thing, but it's not bad. It works. So for your driver, you can create a positive and a negative bus, which just means that if you take your driver's positive and you put it into something like this, you know, with one of these, which you can cut, now you have, like, it just splits that 1 positive into 5 positives. And then, you know, then it's like a little cleaner. You don't have to like take a big wire nut. So you could use something like that. I don't have anything else in this bin to illustrate, but that's what I mean by a bus. And there's many things like this that are probably better than this that are already all tied together that you don't need this tie together thingy. So yeah, so there's a lot of things you can do. Okay, let's dissolve out of that. Okay, that answered that question. Timberlog, yes, Chill does ship internationally. Later, No-Till Army, peace, brother. Oh yeah, I will check. I saw that you DM'd me. Dang it! On that topic that we were talking about, I can take care of you anytime on that. But I will check my DMs and I will get you. I'll get you, brother. Crust Cheese, cheers. The Shaman, cheers. Woody, cheers. Super Chilla Man, Lloyd, Chris, Spaceballs, everybody. I'm just too tired. I have to go. I have to sleep. I'm tired. Can you see me? I'm very tired. Goodbye. I'll see you guys later.